here's my agenda. We're going to cover 3 things. We're going to put yourself in the referee shoes. We're going to cover a couple of rules because most of you don't know the rules, but you yell at us all the time because you think you know when you really don't. So this is a little bit of education. And then the big point is you don't want to be the person that causes your kid to play their last game. And that's something that when we leave here today, I want to make sure that everybody understands. Okay. Referees were easy prey. How come?
Because you're...
Huh? Well, you're not going to yell at your kid most of the time. You got to have somebody to blame. You've had a hard week at work, and you come on the weekend, you got to have somebody to yell at. Because fellas, you know, your wife's been on you all week, so you got to be able to yell at somebody because you know you can't yell back at her. And we're standing out there, and it's an acceptable practice, right? I say not. Would you want to be yelled at work all day long? Because I know nobody in here is perfect. But if your boss is all over your shoulders all day long telling you what you're not doing right, your day doesn't go very well, right? All right. We got to have someone to blame because your kid can't just have traveled and did something wrong. It had to be the ref that caused the kid to do that, right? It had to be the ref. Referees or parents at basketball games seem to bring out the worst in us. And sometimes it's who you're sitting next to. Because you ever been sitting there and you're just trying to be calm and you may be mumbling something on your breath and then you hear somebody just going, "Rah!" And the next thing you know you're doing the same thing they're doing. Find out who they are and don't sit by them. Because they're going to make you behave in a way you don't want to behave. Alright? So, what you guys have to understand is there are good referees, there are bad referees. There's good basketball players, there's bad basketball players. There's good coaches, there's bad coaches. There's good tournaments, there's bad tournaments. And you're going to see them all season long. And as long as your kids are playing, you're going to see them. When you get to the high school level, it's the same way. When you get to the college level, it's the same way. But with referees, there are not enough referees to referee all games. So what happens is, associations like Cottage Grove Athletic Association hires an individual who then contracts referees. And then when he gets to the tournament, he finds out how many games he has to assign, and then he puts his referees on games. How do you think that goes? For those of you in the 5th grade. Who gets the 5th grade games?
Rookies.
The kids that, the refs that don't know what they're doing. 25% of the refs are refereeing for the first time. Now they might have been players, you know, they might have been coaches, and they still want to be a part of the game. Who knows why they come? They might just need a part-time job because it's pretty good money. But what you have to understand is, not all the refs are good. And when you've got an 8th grade A team playing and 4th grade girls, which one do you think the assigner is going to put his best referees on? And I'll tell you from experience, it's a lot harder to referee a 4th grade girls basketball game than it is an 8th grade A boys game. Okay? So, a lot of the refs that you deal with now, you got to be careful because you know why? When your kid gets to high school, those refs could be refereeing your high school game. And I'm telling you, referees have a long memory. There are people in our community that I know and remember just by the way that they run their mouth. In fact, when my son played here at Park, there was a kid that was 2 years younger, happened to be a relative. And his dad just ran his mouth. 3 years later, I'm refereeing with a guy, and he's telling me about my brother-in-law. About what a jerk he was and how he ran his mouth. Now, I try to go ref my game, do the best I can, and go about my business. But there are certain people that you don't forget. Do you want to be one of those? All right, so now I'm going to get you guys involved a little bit. Okay? I need 2 volunteers. 2. We could stay here all night, you know, but I want to go see my girls finish playing their soccer game. I need 2 people. Let's go. Oh, look it. You want to talk about them, but you don't want to be one. Come on down. Put that on. All right, I need 5 kids. 5, come on. I need 5 kids. Come on down. All right, put it on. So now, this refereeing stuff is an art, okay? So, we're going to pretend like this is a half court. So this gentleman here, how you doing, Mr. Kimmel? We'll say the basket is here. He's got this baseline, and he basically has this corner of the field, or the court. And his partner is on this side. Okay. So his job is to watch from the lane to the sideline, from the free throw line to half court. He's got to make sure nobody goes over the lines. He's got to watch all these kids in here. His basically takes the lane to the baseline all the way out. Now I need 5 adults to go with the 5 kids. Let's go. All right. The kids are on one team. Get in a circle. 1, 2, 3, Wolfpack. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, Wolfpack. 1, 2, 3, Wolfpack. Oh, come on. 1, 2, 3, Wolfpack.
1, 2, 3, Wolfpack.
All right. Now each parent grab a kid to guard. All right. Kids, you got an imaginary ball. You guys run a play. You guys defend them. Okay? Referees, call the fouls. Let's go. Let's move. You guys, who's dribbling the ball? Who's dribbling the ball? Let's go. All right, let's go. Where's the ball? Where's it going to pass? Someone wants me to say I got the ball. They all have the ball?
要抱着，要抱着。
Okay, walk around, let's go, move. Who's going to the basket? It's open. Get a layup. Okay, stop. What did you all see?
Chaos.
What? Now take a look at the referees. Did you see that chaos in the middle? So if I've got this sideline, and I got these guys out here messing around, he's got that sideline, that baseline, you guys are up at an angle like this, and of course who are you probably watching? The ball or your kid. How are these two supposed to see everything? Can they?
No.
All right, thank you folks, but I want my shirt back. You don't want nothing to do with it, huh? So the point is, if my head turns to look at some kid over here, and this kid does something and they fall down on the ground, what do you always say? Oh, how can you not see that? How can you not call that? All I got to do is move my eyes 1 second to see what this kid's doing, and something can happen here and I miss it. I don't blow my whistle. Does that make me a bad ref? You can't see it. You can't see it. And what's really good is if you're ever in a place when you get up like this, now you really have the bird's eye view because you get to see down at an angle and you got a wider field of view. So I'm not trying to say that you should give us all the breaks in the world. What I'm trying to tell you is it's difficult. And the older and the stronger the kids get, the cheaper they get. Like grabbing a jersey or throwing a little elbow when a guy's coming off a pick. How do you see that? Or kids going in for a layup. What the kids are all doing now is they're taking their low hand and they're pushing them in the hip while they're trying to shoot, which knocks them off center and makes them miss. But at least it wasn't up here. But every time I call that, everybody goes, he didn't touch him. He just about pushed him into the wall. So I just wanted to give you a perspective of what it's like when you got chaos running around on the field, or on the court. Okay? So give them a little bit of respect for that. Okay? So we talked about the portion on the court, and you can't call what you don't see. I see a kid go down, I think I saw that guy push him, can I really call that? No, I can't. I'm not gonna. Because in some cases, what if that kid tripped? Now they might have been next to each other, the kid trips and goes down. If I don't see it, is that fair for me to call it? Now, I might ask the kid, did you push him? What do you think they always say? No. Well, there's a few kids that say, yeah, I pushed him. Well, I said, it's too late for me to blow the whistle, so I said, just don't do it again. Okay? All right. Your kids are going to get hit. There's going to be some contact. It's not supposed to be a contact sport, but kids run into each other. And every time they run into each other, it's not a foul. If they both run into each other and they knock down, which one am I going to call it on? it's better not to call anything. So you just got to calm down, and all you got to do is say, whoo, and then shut up. Because they're going to get up, and then the kid starts crying, well, he's crying, it must have been a foul. It doesn't matter. If he fell down and bumped his knee, if it's not a foul, it's not a foul. And those are the judgment calls that you will disagree with the most. Because if they step on the line, that's pretty easy. But two kids run into each other, I have to make a decision. It's going to be a 50-50 chance that you're going to like what it is. Right? And here's the funny thing. You know what y'all do? When your kids travel, you don't say nothing, but when the other kids travel, you go, travel, travel! How come? All right. Now, I adjust. Because here's the thing you have to realize. It's not a high school game where there's not a game coming after it. These games run an hour and 5 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. If you called everything, those games would go 3 hours long. So you watch the kids for the first couple of minutes, you kind of identify their strengths and their weaknesses, and you try to make a flow to the game. Now, is that right? I don't know if it is, but it's the reality. So you guys got to understand that a little bit. I'm not going to call every travel on 5th grade boys. I did that this weekend. Kids are traveling, parents go, travel, travel. I said, which one do you want me to call? They go, yeah, you're right, okay. So I'll call the travel where the kid gets an advantage. But if he takes a little extra shuffle, if he does it over and over again, I'll have to teach him a lesson. But you can't call every one because there's too many of them. All right? Oops. And we do make mistakes. In fact, this weekend, I was doing varsity girls, and there was 2 girls from the defense here, 1 girl on the offense here. They both teams had dark shorts, and the one girl's knee went out, and I saw it bounce off that one girl's knee, and I'm looking, I'm going, which one was it? I go, this way. One parent goes, oh, it went off her leg. I said, well, I had a 50-50 chance. It looked like it went off her. One parent said, yeah, you're right, it did go off her. So one said no, one said yes. I said, well, 50-50, right? All right. Some rules to live by. Keep your focus and be positive, okay? There's nothing worse than you to embarrass your kid by being that goofy parent out there that's yelling and screaming. How's that helping your kid? Okay? Don't let your perception of a ref change your demeanor. Because there's some guys out there that just have an attitude. Some guys are coming out like somebody just ran over their dog and they're coming out to take it out on somebody. Well, are you going to change that really? But don't let your demeanor change because that guy's a jerk. But then again, don't make your demeanor make that ref a jerk. Because I've done that before. I think I told some of you this story last year, but for the new ones, you'll love this one. Me and my son were refereeing a game. It was 4th grade girls, Woodbury against Eastview. Now, I'm telling you all this because those parents are the ones that yell the most, are crazy. I don't like doing Woodbury and Eastview games. I don't, because they're unbelievable. Well, this lady's over there yelling and screaming. This is 4th grade girls, by the way. Yelling and screaming, yelling and screaming, yelling. Finally, I go up to her and I say, ma'am, please, I had enough. Can you please calm down? Then start blowing your whistle. I said, ma'am, I had enough. I said, I'm calling it fair. Well, my girl's getting knocked down. You ain't calling this. You go, ma'am, one more word, and you're going to watch your girl play the rest of this game. You got me? So then I started to talk around, and what did she do, guys? She got, and blow your whistle. So I walk over to the coach. I said, Coach, you see that lady over there? If you don't shut her up, I'm going to end this game, and they're going to win this game. He looks at me, starts laughing, he goes, now you know what I deal with at home. So I look at him and I said, hey man, I'll tee her up and throw her out, man. You can play without me if you want. So of course, we did the man thing that we should have did. We're over there laughing, and what do you think she was doing sitting over there? But she didn't say another word the rest of the game, but boy, she left. All right. Chances are you're going to see that ref again. And you don't want to be, we don't want to be the community that referees don't want to referee because 1 or 2 of you can't keep your mouth shut. And it follows the whole community. One person can do that when you do it over and over and over again. Don't be that person. Because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me. They go, hey, where are you from? Cottage Grove. Oh, you guys got terrible fans. Well, I'm looking, I said, geez, the ones I see are great. But there was that one guy over there that just gets hit. We don't want to be that here. Okay? 3 rules. How many of you said, reach? He reached! You all said it, right? How about carry? Carry the ball? Because some kid bounces it about this high. That's a carry! And then it hits the backboard. So we'll go over those 3. All right? Reaching is not a foul. You can reach all day. You got to make contact for it to be a foul. The contact's a foul. You can reach all day if you want to. Everybody got that? You're going to reach, you got to hit somebody, or it's not a foul. Second, you can't travel when you're dribbling the basketball, and if the kid wants to dribble it this high, this is not a carry. They can bounce it like this and take 10 steps and come down. The ball has to come to rest on their hand for it to be a carry. So when some kid's running, they're all out of control and it's going like this, and you're going, that's a carry. It's not a carry unless the ball rests in their hand. Everybody got that one? Okay. And the last one, the backboard. The sides are okay, the top's okay, the bottom's okay. A ball can't go over the backboard or it can't hit the back of a backboard. Okay? So a lot of people say, that went out, it hit the side. The side is in. Any questions on those 3 rules? Anybody learn anything today?
Yes.
Oh, you won't raise your hands? You sweat like I am, didn't want me to see that spot, huh? Okay. All right. Parent behavior is the #1 reason why kids quit a sport. They hate to ride home from games with their parents. Are you one of those parents? Horrendous sports parents, the ones who scream at referees, loudly second-guess coaches, and berate their children. Here's what you say. Stay focused when you're on the bench. You're sitting over there. You're supposed to be watching the game. Is that your job?
No.
Whose job is that? That's the coach's job. You didn't hustle back to your position on defense. You think a kid, after they just got through playing a basketball game, wants to sit in the car with you and listen to this crap on the way home? You think they do? But do you feel better when you say it? Because it's not helping, all right? You would have won if that ref would have called that obvious foul. You always say that one, don't you? Just let's rip that one out and throw it away. And how about this one? Your coach didn't have the best team on the court when it mattered most. You got, if Billy, Johnny, Joey, and Blue was on the court, you would have won that game. The coaches have purpose. This is a developmental program. Doesn't matter what you think about what a kid does. That's between the coach and the players. Okay? All right. You guys create the biggest distraction during the game. Your coach sees them 2 nights a week and every other weekend. How often do you see them? So you're up there yelling, shoot, 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 like you all do. Is that what the coach needed them? Right there. You don't know what the coach told them. Now you're creating conflict for that kid. And I'm sitting there refereeing these games going, because I'm sure I did that when I was coaching and coming up, but I don't have to do it anymore, so I just laugh at the people that are still doing it. Your players take on the demeanor of the coach and the parents. If you're out there acting a fool, guess what your kid starts doing? Acting a fool. Is that what you want? They're watching your behavior. So it's hard for you to act like a fool and tell them not to, because they're watching your behavior. Let your coaches coach, let the refs ref, and when the game is over, is the sun coming up tomorrow? Yep. It is. All right? Give your kid a chance to decompress after a game. If they come to you and ask you a question, that's good. But do you think they're in the mood to listen to you tell them everything that they did wrong all day? You guys don't like it when your boss or your spouse does it to you. What makes you think your kids like it? And do any of you want to have your kids say, I just don't like this game anymore, Dad or Mom? What do you think the reason's really going to be? You got to look in the mirror on that one. Okay? Let's not take the fun out of the game. This is supposed to be a fun game. And that's why I still referee, because I'm too old to play it anymore. But I still get to be a part of the game and try to make a difference. Sometimes I have really good games. Sometimes I have some bad days. But I go back out there trying to get better each time that I'm out there. That's what we want of our kids, isn't it? All right. So, you're representing our community. One bad parent can label our whole community. Never get into a confrontation with other teams or players or parents. Take the high road. In fact, I had to throw one guy out It was Hastings against, who was it? Oh, I hate to say it, Eastview. See, I'm already labeling them, huh? They've made me prejudiced against them. A girl from Hastings knocked a girl from Eastview down. And I called the foul. It was her 5th foul. This guy stands up, and the girl was number 8. He goes, "Bye-bye, number 8," to the Hastings girl. Now, I'm trying to tell you not to get a conversation, but some parent stands up and starts yelling at my kid. I have to be checked. My wife's going to have to grab me a little bit. So I turned to this guy and said, "Hey, you can cheer all you want and talk to your players all you want, but you can't talk to the other team. I'm not going to allow it." So he sits down. Of course, then I wanted to embarrass him. So I said, "Do you understand?" And he just kind of looked at me and said, "Do you understand?" He goes, "Yeah," and he grabbed his coat and he went. But the point is, do we want to be in that situation? We don't. Okay? Cheering and positive comments improves the player experience. And this is why we're paying this money. This is why we're trusting these coaches, creating opportunities for our kids. Let's make sure we make it positive, because it's all about the kids. So, you make a huge difference, take that responsibility seriously. It's not about the number of wins or losses a team has that determines it's good. It's all the character that's built. It's the hard work. It's all those things that they learn that make themselves better players, better students, better people in our community with this experience. And that's what the Cottage Grove Athletic Association is about.